Let's continue with our coronavirus coverage now. Even though numbers are climbing, they're leveling off a bit, and that is some good news.
But there are still a lot of people who want to be tested. In fact, the line has been only continuing to grow right off of Asylum Ave in Hartford. That's where we find Channel 3's Caitlin Francis, who is monitoring the traffic there and also breaking down the latest numbers here in Connecticut and across the nation. Caitlin.
Eric and Nicole, so those White House coronavirus task force officials are saying that they are seeing signs social distancing is helping to slow the spread of the virus, which is some good news, but we are not in the clear yet. Those numbers continue to increase just a little bit slower than we've seen in the past. And you can see that here with all of these people lined up in their cars outside of St. Francis Hospital this morning, waiting to get tested for COVID-19. I want to get to some more numbers for you now this morning. The U.S. has more than 432,000 confirmed coronavirus cases with nearly 15,000 deaths. And here in Connecticut, there are now more than 8,700 confirmed cases. 335 people have died due to the virus. And to date, more than 31,700 tests have been conducted. We're seeing more testing done today, as you just saw in our live pictures here this morning as people are lining up. More than 1,400 patients have had to be hospitalized. But President Trump says restrictions aimed at slowing the spread of the coronavirus could begin to ease, he says, sooner rather than later. In other parts of the world, that could also be true. Spain's prime minister announcing just today they have reached the peak of the pandemic and will soon start the process of de-escalation of the current lockdown measures there. The country did, however, request for the state of emergency order in Spain to be extended through April 26th. Back here in the U.S., the CDC issued new recommendations to get some Americans back to work under certain conditions. That would include getting your temperature checked on arrival and keeping workers at a safe distance. Stratford police are also making sure people are following those guidelines as well. They're now issuing $100 fines to anyone not observing social distancing measures. Governor Ned Lamont is requiring residents to stay at least 6 feet apart. We've heard this for weeks now. No groups of more than 5 people.
The number of hospitalizations is pretty much what we've been describing for the last week or so, which is that it's not going up exponentially. It's going up in a linear way.
Meanwhile, we are live outside of St. Francis Hospital this morning in Hartford. You can see all of these people in their cars lined up waiting to get tested for COVID-19. There's actually a gentleman walking down the line here this morning, counting the number of cars. Now, that first car you just saw in line, that first vehicle, along with several others, arrived here this morning before 4 o'clock. They're waiting for that drive-through testing, which doesn't open until 9 o'clock. And we do know, not just here in Connecticut, but across the United States, tests are limited. So that's why you see this line of people here this morning. We've been seeing this here for days now as well, because those tests are limited. So people are here first come, first served to get tested. We're live in Hartford this morning. Caitlin Francis, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.